10.77% average, but it's the horrible kicks within it. The second kilometre of, let's call it 4 kilometres in length, this climb, shall we? The second kilometre that they have to deal with is an average of 12%, and sections of it much worse than that. The last kilometre, which includes a lot of flat area of the climb, it's categorised at 12.55%, but the first section within that, the first couple of hundred metres of that final kilometre of the climb, if you understand what I mean, before we head downhill to the line, so there'll still be a couple of kilometres after that, you're going to get horrible kick sections of, what, 20%?
Thereabouts, I'd say, yeah. I think we'll have certain sections going hitting borderline 20% and then levelling out again, so very similar, I think, to yesterday's gradient.
There we are, the nasty one, not quite as thin and sinuous with the crowd getting involved yesterday as they did, albeit enthusiastically, and we'd love to see passion. It's part of what makes this sport great. 13 seconds there. Now, I think that he was obviously doing it on a thumb. Wrong thumb. These guys, well, they'll give each other, to continue the analogy, the thumbs up in a moment. They'll shake hands and say, job well done, but job over.
Well, yeah, I mean, they'll still keep on pressing on for as long as they can, but... and certainly as you're on the climb, you have one pace, and that's flat out at this point. You might as well keep on going until the finish. You've got 9 kilometres to go. There's no point in sitting up now, really.
Here we are then. It's time to assemble yourselves, get yourselves ready. Guerreau's still within this group, by the way. I thought he was suffering a little bit today, but it's clearly not. Tom Dumoulin as well for Giant Alpecin at the back. There is Joaquin Rodriguez. He's got himself back in. He kept calm, kept his head, and now he just has to deliver. Tall order, you might think. You're absolutely right. Jean-Christophe Perrault, incidentally, veteran, is also within this. The leader of AG Tour La Mondiale. Betancourt as well still here, and there's Kwiatkowski in the rainbow jersey. Our leader's jersey on this race, the yellow jersey, as you can see, it's held by Team Sky and NL. And look how much work Orica Greenedge are suddenly prepared to do, and they've got men in abundance here. This is a good push by the Aussie team.
It is very good push, and you know, they look good yesterday as well, and I think that Simon Yates and Chavez looked incredibly strong. You know, 10 seconds down, the pair of them, and that's good riding. So clearly they've given a bit of confidence to their team as well to show them that they're there or thereabouts.
I like that. Darwin Atapuma as well for BMC. We didn't mention him along for the ride. Sammy Sanchez is in here, and in fact he's not that far away from Joaquin Rodriguez. He may do a bit of wheel hugging as we go up. 8.6 kilometres until the line, so we're going to be climbing properly fairly shortly, and then it really does get more and more serious the deeper we go into this. This is Arate, the football team locally, playing in not just the Basque League but the top Primera division. Is that what it's called in Spain? I believe so. There we are. No, are you saying?
No, I said you're talking football now. You go straight over the top of my head.
I'm a bit lost as well. I know where Sheffield Wednesday's ground is, that's about it. 8.1 kilometres then remaining as they come through town. Not the most beautiful Arate, but there you are. There is still a bull ring here, as you can also see. Yes, I believe Basque bullfighting, incidentally, involves nicking ribbons off horns, which is a bit kinder. I'll probably be reminded that that's wrong. Something in my mind tells me it's right. These guys up for a fight. Well, 7.8 kilometres. They've been wrestling the terrain all day. They've been bullying the pack, but the pack have just about had enough. And you'll see them come around that little corner, I'm sure, in a few moments' time. They're on their case, and there they are. The hounds have sight of the hares, and this is the business end of the day. Orica Greenedge are up for this big time, and they're prepared to take it on early. That's a factor.
Yeah, they definitely are. Michael Alpecin on the front here at the moment, just driving the pace on, and I wonder whether they're just a bit worried about Tony Martin and Tom Danielson, or whether they're actually really want to put the pressure onto the rest of the guys heading in towards this the steep section of this climb.
Oh, we'd love to show you pictures of where the riders are, but they've got into a tunnel. It doesn't really make for good pictures unless you wire up the tunnel, and that's a very expensive thing to do. I've seen it done in the past, but not this time by. So we'll just have to enjoy ourselves with Arate and that Lego brick collection that the architect leaned upon when he designed this town.
This one as well?
This one as well. There we are. Maybe the odd stickle brick. Not quite sure. There are, of course, other construction blocks toys available. Meanwhile, here we go, back to the fore, and it looks like Orica Greenedge have done a decent job here.
Well, they certainly have, and we are starting the climb properly.
6.9, 10.7%, 6.9 kilometers to go. So yes, there you are, bang, rude awakening. It's time to go to work if you are got a big option today. But Movistar and Quintana, of course, favourites for today. Quintana's won here in 2013. He came away from a 7-rider group as well, so he squirreled away sprinting down the last couple of kilometres. So once we crest, then it is some quick legs you need, and Rodriguez is right back where he needs to be.
Yeah, he definitely is. I didn't expect anything else with the team that he's got around him as well, and he's done it very, very well, not stressing about it. And you know, this climb is significantly long to kind of ride into it as well, settling yourself into the pace and get on with it. Carry
a bit of momentum in if you possibly can, and yet again, no surprise to see Kirienka just going backwards.
Good to see Talansky on his bike and looking okay after the big crash that he had yesterday.
Yeah, doesn't seem to be carrying too many bandages. Vasil Kirienka, by the way, is a man who just burns himself early. It's a deliberate part of Sky's drive strategy, and they've done a lot of work today. There's Rui Costa, number 131 in the pink and blue. Could also be a big feature today, but if you've got to consider how these guys go downhill as well as how they and indeed sprint as well as how they climb today.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much of a downhill to worry about. You know, the majority of it's going to be done, the damage is going to be done on the uphill here, and Orica Green is definitely Peter Weening setting the pace at the moment.
Quintana's taking a lot of vision. Whenever he does this, he's kind of minded to leave everyone, including his teammates, behind. He'll stay with them for the time being, but as soon as he sees any threat, he likes to impose himself over a long-ish climb. He's got 6.1 kilometers to the line, but notably, he's divorced now from his teammates. He wants vision more than anything else now.
He just wants to, he's told them to, let's go, let's put the pressure on. We're not going fast enough. We need to start putting everyone under some serious pressure.
Pace is what he wants. Unfortunately for him, Kwiatkowski is equal to it just for the time being. It's about wearing everybody out on a day like today. And of course, if you've got descending skills and maybe are able to sprint out of a small group, then this day will play into your hands. Kwiatkowski, if he stays where he is at the moment, is looking very good for today.
Yeah, as long as he can follow Quintana up over the top here, then you know, you'd certainly put your money on Kwiatkowski, but it's still very much on the lower slopes of this particular climb. We're getting up towards the steep a bit later on, and I think that's why Quintana wanted his team to set a strong pace to put everyone under pressure, because I think if it lets everyone be a bit too fresh, then he can't make the big difference in a short period of time.
Simon Yates is in about position P6 at the moment. Rafa Majka in the yellow and blue of Tinkoff Saxo is just ahead of the leader's jersey on the back of Louis Henao for Team Sky, and this is the last roll of the dice by the looks of things for plenty of these guys, I'm afraid. Some of them have been found out. 5.7 kilometers to go, and they're starting to just show their hand, and it is Atapuma that just kicks off. He's ignoring the pain from underneath that bandage, and he's going for this. The man who's tagging along is John Izagirre, the Spanish champion, and everyone else is just looking at themselves at the moment. Can they set the pace? It's not the sort of climb where you can suddenly explode. You might have to just time trial yourself away. Let's see how it stacks up. Because you can often just reach over, and they're going for this.
Well, definitely the pressure is on, but Luis Leon Sanchez there for Astana is still trying to look after Scarponi, as we've got one of the Katusha riders coming to the fore here.
Izagirre is the policeman out here for Quintana, who has got the pace. He's one of the few who can change it on a steep climb and make huge inroads, and we'll see whether he manages to do that. I'm just trying to check on the Katusha rider. I think it's Danny Moreno, actually. But there you go, 5.4 kilometers to go. It wasn't, I beg your pardon. And there we are. We've got 3 riders up at the nose right now. John Izagirre is the man who's working for Quintana, who's still holding back. 5.3 kilometers only from the line, and they're cat and mousing at the moment. He knows he's got company and doesn't like what he sees, and Quintana's thinking about braking and bridging. If Quintana does bridge over to these guys, he's one of the few that can go. Luis Leon Sanchez for Astana. It's Zakharin who was a feature earlier on, don't forget. He finished 3rd on the opening stage behind Matthews and Kwiatkowski. Surprising ride. He's quite rangy, as you can see, and still Quintana holds back. Well, is he happy to let these guys have some fun? I don't think so. With 5.1 to go, now we've got about, what, 2 kilometers left of this climb, and the worst part of it comes a little bit later on.
Well, it certainly does, but Zakarin is also at 10 seconds on the general classification, so he's a danger man for the overall. And you know, Sky are looking like they're having to take the pace making in the peloton here now. Got one man on the front. Looks like David Lopez is, and it is.
Well, there, just dancing on the pedals at the moment is Quintana. He's got Kwiatkowski just behind him. The leader, and now in the yellow jersey, as you can see, also there. And for the time being, it's 10 seconds that is the margin.
Yeah, TJ van Garderen just in front of Sergio Henao in the red on the right-hand side of your pictures. Luis Leon Sanchez looking like he's hurting a bit. Can't quite follow Zakarin.
It is.
Izagirre.
Zakarin's gone. Izagirre's just chasing him down. 8 seconds they've got. If these guys come over the top and they haven't got that far to go, they can bring this home. And Zakarin's got a good pace on him at the end. Remember Matthews beating Kwiatkowski. Zakarin was the best of the rest on stage 1. Oh, this could be yet another confirmation or affirmation that Zakarin has got something special here. Certainly in this race. Has a look to see what the gap is. I think he may be allowed his head, you know.
Well, he's dropping Izagirre here.
He is. He's striding out, and Zakarin is heading for what could be a sweet victory here. 4.5 kilometres, 11 seconds he's got, and he's distancing them. Well, if he crests, he's the winner. It's as simple as that, the way he's riding at the moment.
Well, the way he's riding at the moment is very impressive indeed, and dropping some solid climbers, although... I wonder whether he's going to hold on to that.
Well, he revealed himself good and proper in the Tour of Azerbaijan last year, which he took. But more than third place, podium on the day behind Matthews and Kwiatkowski. And these guys, nobody's minded to go after him. 14 seconds he's got, and all of a sudden, and now realises the danger, and he knows he's got to do this. Quintana's on his case and immediately goes over, dragging Rodriguez with a teammate, as you can see, as well. It's all breaking down now. 12 seconds, 11 seconds. How much pace can they inject late on? And now believes he can do this, and he has gone. Has he dropped Quintana, who's wrestling with this, and now has got a good margin, and he passes Jean Izagirre. Quintana on a flatter section just rolls over and looks still fresh.
Quintana's
checks
hurting
behind himself, is he?
Quintana's hurting. He's had to let go of that one. He couldn't quite close the gap, and it's now sat down. So question is whether Henao have got the power to keep this going.
And indeed get back to Zakarin. Climbing legs for Zakarin. It's going to be important then, the descent and indeed the sprint. And now wise to it and riding brilliantly, and now trying to chase down this man. 25 years of age, this Russian, and he's out of the saddle and he's going for it. Best result with an excuse me to Azerbaijan. He's done some great things in the past. Tour of Slovenia he's done well, etc., but nothing against such names as this. But Henao is bridging. He's going to get back to him. They may well just join up for the final assault. About 1.9 kilometres to go, and this is where it really starts to hurt.
And now he's looking very strong indeed, and there was definitely a bit of a stall in the back there behind him. All the favourites, Quintana, Rodriguez, and the rest were sort of looking at each other, not really wanting to put the pressure on to chase down Henao, and Henao's now got a significant gap on the rest of the guys.
But Zakarin's out of the saddle. He's still managing to abjure out between these two to the line. They might even cat and mouse if they've got a little bit of a gap. Kwiatkowski's found himself in all kinds of trouble as well, and he's not alone down there, I'm afraid. That's Luis Leon Sanchez he's with. It's taken its toll, this Tour of the Basque Country, even on Quintana, apparently. Let's see whether he's got a last push. 3.7 kilometres to go.
Yeah, 3.7 to go, and that's Sammy Sanchez there now, and just hanging on to the coattails of this front group.
There's Perot as well, also in trouble.
Yeah.
Sammy Sanchez for BMC in the black and white, you've just seen a few moments ago. Likewise, Rui Costa also starting to struggle. It's about the pace, and it's about Quintana and what he's got. There's Rodriguez. Plenty more have been found out. It's Izagirre that's trying to lead him back in here.
Yeah, Izagirre's trying to lead him back in, but Izagirre's been dropped from that already, so he's clearly not got the legs to do too much. But looking at Simon Yates here from Orica Green, he's looking very good on Quintana's wheel, and watch out for that man. He's got a super future.
He's got a super future. He's going to write a chapter of it today. Meanwhile, out front, and now gets over to this man, Zakarin. They're going to crest this one together, but the top dogs just behind, will they savage them? And I would probably argue with that. He could well be our stage winner today. It's about the gap and how they take it, and on the descent. It's, all factors have to be considered. It could be a very select group by the time we get down to the bottom of this little test right now. They're going to crest, and then they go downhill into town. We remind you, these guys kind of reach out to close up right now.
And that's Scarponi on the front now. So Scarponi's gone out there and starting to try and put the pressure on, trying to bring Sergio Henao back, but not really getting an awful lot of help from anyone else. And it's about a 5 to 10 second gap that they got.
And now takes the lead. He's going to crest this, and then he's going to ride the roller coaster in. How effective can he be with Zakarin? 3.2 to go. Scarponi looks like he's fading, and these guys out front are seeing the crest, and they know what it means. It means a run in, and they can master this. 3.1 kilometres to go. It's not much of a gap at all, but it's hard to close down on the run-in that we've got. Let's talk about the finish line very, very briefly as these guys come to the crest.
Yeah, still a little bit of a drop, and then it will start going uphill from about, well, it's still going uphill from about 3k to go, so around about here, but it's not as bad as it has been. Then the final kilometre, you got a descent, and it's pretty much the last 100 metres that you got a straight line, so it's relatively technical. Yeah, there's a kink with about 500 metres to go on the flat run in, as you've possibly seen from some of the historical pictures. These guys writing their own history right now, and out of the saddle goes Hidao. Zakharin staying with him, hugging the wheel, and we look back and it's Scarponi still driving on. I'm wondering what's happened to Rodriguez and Quintana. They're getting to that zone now where it flattens off at the top of this climb. It's actually taken the climb itself on a relatively flat section, and then they head down towards the finish line. They're still climbing, as you can see, but the hardest part of the tests today have been dealt with, and John Izagirre's going to go for this. I think he's been given the get-go by Quintana, who's still within the pack. Simon Yates still looks amazingly fresh for Orica Greenedge within this group, but Rodriguez is there as well. Some big names. Big names in there, but certainly the two Katusha riders are not going to do anything. They've got a man up front, a man who's riding really well at the moment. So they kind of have to look at other teams, although Rodriguez, I think, would quite like for someone like Scarponi or Izagirre to bring them back so that he can go and win the stage. But at the moment, they can't do much because they got Zakharin out front. I think Thibaut Pinot and Francis Deschutes is also in the mix, incidentally. He's managed to get himself into a very, very select group. What a group it is. There is Quintana. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, Thibaut Pinot was in there as well. TJ van Garderen just hanging on to the back of that one, really struggling quite a bit. Oh, it's all breaking down behind as they kick off, and I think that's Simon Yates that's just engaging a bit of pace, or he's tagging on to John Izagirre. Right then, the descent is now opening up. It's 10 seconds. Can they hold on to that? They're grinding these last few metres of the climb before they get into it. Oh, that's no 10 seconds. Wow, that is not 10 seconds. Look at this. The clock was wrong, and the pack were right, I think. They've just kept something dry. And Zakharin is not taking any turns either for her now, because he knows he's got two teammates on the back. So they're kind of playing the game at the moment. The Katusha riders, both in this pack here and. Costa's also in the mix here, plenty of others too. Just at the back, you're looking at TJ van Garderen. Right at the last here, he's got a great view of everything that's happening in front of him. It's battle zone with 2 to go. Well, I think Sergio now has gotten to the point where he knows he's going to have to drive this if he wants to stay clear of the rest of the guys. It's going to be difficult. 1.9 kilometers to go, and the guys are too close now for comfort. There we are, too close for comfort, and it'll allow a little bit of a regrouping. So then, out of this raft of talent, and it's an amazing group that we've got. 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 riders. Who are you picking? Simon Yates. Wow, come on, Yatesy, that would be amazing. And they're kicking off, they know the danger, and Rodriguez has called for action, and he's got it. So how are they going to deliver? It's about how you descend and then how you sprint on afterwards. Don't even count out Quintana in a situation such as this. Well, we haven't got an awful lot of descending to do. It's still... It's only the last kilometre or so where it starts dipping down around about 4%. Hanao's not finished. He's drifted over to the side of the road and just making their way through. Simon Yates just comes up to the side of Izagirre, the Spanish champion, and he's making moves right now. He's now behind Pinot. He wants clear vision. Is he going to be allowing it? Rui Costa just decides to give an extra kick. Fantastic sprinting going. Simon Yates is live to it, and he goes with him. Yates is getting himself into a superb position, and the drive's coming now from all quarters. It's coming from everywhere, yeah, but a good wheel to be on is on Rui Costa. But you've got to look as well, the Katusha riders have all got they've got a team there. So here goes Henao. Henau's kicked off, and Pinot's also going as well. Henao kicks it. Who's he dragging with him, though? That's the big question. They can't decide who it's going to be. And there is Quintana, just showing his nose right now. Simon Yates staying with Quintana's wheel. Oh, Rodriguez also involved in the frame. Izagirre is not to be discounted even after the efforts he's put in on this climb. They're running out of time. They're running out of road. They're running out of road. They need to make sure that they're getting... Simon Yates needs, if he wants to win, he's got to be on second wheel pretty much coming around these last couple of corners. And now it is with 500 metres to go, 400, and it's the last couple of kinks they've got before the line. Oh, look at this. Rodriguez, is it, that's got to the fore, and Kwiatkowski's got to be amongst the favourites now. Yeah, definitely. Rodriguez on the front had got a gap on the rest of the guys. 150 metres to go. 150. It looks like Rodriguez is going to finally take the win that was denied him on the Vuelta in 2012. He takes that final turn, and Rodriguez makes it home. What a
superb piece of tactical racing that was. Chapeau to Rodriguez. Cat and mouse stuff amongst the best. And then this huge gap to everybody else. Well, we know from within which group our